Hello and welcome back to AES 2023 in New York City. I'm here with Karl Winkler from Lectrosonics. Karl, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We talked at NAB, and we actually had something else where we did a live stream a little while ago. At NAB, we talked about a bunch of different things. Why don't you give us an update about where Lectro is and what's going on?
Sure. Well, first off, you know, the hottest thing going, the DSR4 has been a tremendous success, and we talked about it at NAB. It's been shipping since January, and it's really been a top product for us. And just recently, we started shipping the DSR, which is the 2-channel version of it. It's vector diversity full-time on both channels, same form factor. It's a little shorter, so it actually uses all of the same accessory back panels and mounting and powering as the SRC. Okay, so the DSR and the SRC family of accessories are all fully compatible. And it's got the analog outputs as well as native digital outputs directly from the DSR. So that's been shipping now. Menu structure is very much like the DSR4. So if you've looked at those, you'd be familiar with it. Color display, all the same kind of nice things that are in there. So the other thing that we talked about at NAB is the rack. And this is the UMCWB-D rack. And it's designed around an older product that we had, but we updated it with the ability to host any of our portable receivers, including the 411A, the DCR-822, the SR family, and the new DSR and DSR4. So the way this works, this provides RF distro and power distro. The outputs from the receivers would be your audio outs, whether they're digital or analog. And there are different kits available. So there's going to be an SR kit, a DCR-822 kit, a DSR, DSR4 kit, and a 411 kit. And each one of those would come with the front mounting snap and bezel. If it needs a mid-collar, it would have that. It would have the screws, and it would have the power tail. So it's a modular-based system. As you can see, we set it up with an SRC, a couple DCR-822s, and a DSR4.
Got it.
But you can imagine that with 4 DSR4s mounted in here, you have 16 channels of digital receivers in one rack space, which is among the highest density available for digital receivers. So that's the UMCWB-D.
The RF distro in here, is that 470 to 608, or is that different?
That's 470 to 691.
Oh, okay.
So we call that the L band, or low. So that covers everything from 470 up through block 26.
Okay.
That way, export customers can use it. If you're using anything in the mid-band gap, around 653, 663, you can load it in here, and the distro will cover that.
Got it. So A1, B1, C1,
and C1. That's
470 to 26.
Yes.
And then this was introduced at NAB, wasn't available yet. How close are we on it?
We're incredibly close. As I mentioned to you just a few minutes ago, this is a production unit that they prepared for the show. It's kind of a pilot run to work out all the kinks, and we have a full production run in the works right now. It should be out within the next couple weeks. So this is imminent to ship. I'll be sending you pricing and all the details of the kit names and all the parts that are in there, as well as a couple of the spare parts. So that's all coming your way very shortly.
Very cool. And so you were going to talk about Wireless Designer, I think. You were headed towards the screen.
Yeah. You would ask me about that before.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people are waiting for the DSR4 to be compatible with Wireless Designer. So that's in beta right now on the Mac. And we got a couple things we need to fix, and then that should be released hopefully soon, whatever soon means.
Got it.
In programming world. And then the PC one to follow. So it's quite close now, which is great, and it's taken a while. So we appreciate everybody's patience.
So the idea being that the DSR integration with that, so you could obviously put, let's say 16 channels of DSR4 in here, control it all from
Wireless Designer.
Wireless Designer.
That's right. You'd want to run it off. You'd want to have one of the USB backplates, like the DSR4 EXT USB that's got a USB-C jack on the back, and the Hiroshi power jack, which this one has. Okay, and then a USB hub, a good one, and then hook up to Wireless Designer. So that's exactly the idea. 16 channels receiver, Wireless Designer, one rack space.
And even being able, the DCR-822 does that as well.
Yes, it does. And the jack's right on the back of the unit.
Jack's on the back. So, but the idea being that you could have, let's say you had one DSR4 or DSR or DCR-822, you could do a scan full wideband A1B1,
Yep.
and then your legacy units that are, either narrowband blocks or A1B1, you could coordinate everything here.
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And
You
we
got
did, for people watching, we did a video with Karl that was kind of a deep dive into Wireless Designer.
That's right.
And that is definitely something to check out if you are interested in an additional level of sophistication in RF coordination.
Excellent. That's why we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So let me just check the questions here.
Sure thing.
Nothing yet. Is there anything else that you want to share, anything that you're excited about or is on your mind?
Well, this product here has been one of our top products since it came out. Originally, this is part of the Duet system. We introduced it in the fall of 2017. It took off like a rocket. It's really been a top product. So at the end of last year, we introduced the M2RA, and that's the upgraded receiver. And there's a couple things about it that make it really nice. And one of them is the fact that it has all the compat modes, all the digital compat modes right in the unit, whereas before, to go between encrypted or non-encrypted, you had to load a different version of the firmware because it didn't have enough memory. So now we have all that solved. So why am I telling you that? Well, that means that with D2 mode or HDM mode, you can be talking directly to one of our digital mono units, and you could be using it encrypted. So this can be the smallest encrypted, system, receiver, the whole thing, and it just makes it incredibly versatile. But another thing that you could do with it is, let's say you've got your talent wired up and they're mic'd up, and they're using our digital transmitters. You could use this as a monitor, a confidence check, to go into the right mode, tune to the frequency, and listen directly off their pack. So they could be in the makeup area, in their trailer, and you go, you know what? Let me just do a quick mic check.
Yeah.
Wake it up, listen to it. Okay, we're good to go. So, again, this is the M2RA. It's also on the road with the Foo Fighters right now.
Okay, that's pretty
They've
cool.
got an A rig and a B rig, each with 32 channels of Duet for their in-ear monitors. So it gives you some idea of the versatility of it. It's on rock stages, it's backstage, it's on movie sets, and it can be a camera hop receiver too.
Yeah.
We added phantom power protection to the headphone jack specifically for camera hop duties. So one other application is sports coverage, because with the encryption, one challenge is that, normally with encryption, you generate a key in a receiver, and then you pass it to however many transmitters are associated with that receiver. But with sports, with a shared key mode, which was designed for sports, you could actually share that key with a series of receivers. So you could have a camera mount receiver on the field. You could have a rack receiver, in the press box or somewhere else located off the field, both picking up the same encrypted transmitters. So makes it incredibly versatile. So it's out there right now, used for that as well.
And one other application I just want to bring up, because my background is mostly in reality television, is that you could give this to a producer and have one preset tuned to the bag transmitter.
That's right.
And have other presets tuned into each individual talent, so that the producer, if they're not hearing who they want to hear, or they want to know, like, what's Sally talking about in the other room? Sorry, Sally. They can tune directly into that transmitter, listen, get the T, and direct the crew.
Absolutely, and the feature for that is called FlexList. You can build a list of all these different things, and then just go to listen and choose by name. So it's all in there. So great, thanks for bringing that up too.
So the digital wireless really is a very cohesive system between talent transmitters, IFB receivers,
rack units, portable units. It's a big ecosystem with a lot of flexibility, and it's designed that way on purpose.
Great.
Absolutely.
So tough questions coming in. Adam Hecht wants to know about the digital SSM. When's it coming?
If I knew about such a product. Don't have a straight answer for that. Since it's not ready, we can't talk about it.
Right. Always working on new things.
Always working on new things.
Yep.
We understand the interest in such a product. Yep. Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Perfect. Well, Karl, I think we got it.
Great.
I really appreciate you being here. And
well, thanks for coming by. Always a pleasure to do this with you guys.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more coverage from NAB/AES New York City 2023.